Wow, 2020. It's been a wild ride, and I've been struggling with what I can contribute to this space, how I can stay in my lane and still be of service. And I had a series of videos that I was going to do on what we're learning from COVID-19. What are the lessons that we've learned through this pandemic, through having to be under quarantine? And in light of the recent sort of upswing of the racial injustice movement, like I said, struggling with what is appropriate for me to contribute. And the topics that I had prepared just don't feel relevant at this moment. And I'm going to continue to explore how I can best show up appropriately. But for now, so here's what I'm going to offer. This is my offering, is a video on self-care, because that is something that we all need to practice. We all need to pause, check in with ourselves, and see how we're doing. So I'm going to share with you my methods for that. I have a system for this, and I hope that it provides some value. I'm Mischaela Richter, and I'm an ICF certified personal development coach, and I help creative seekers lead with courage and confidence. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, head on over to my website, mischaelarichter.com, to find out more about how we can work together, because that's what I do. I coach creative seekers on how to be courageous and confident leaders. So check it out. So if you like what you see, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel so that you can keep getting that good content every week. All right, self-care. This word gets thrown around a lot. We're hearing this a lot over the last however many years. And for some, that might conjure up images of face masks and bubble baths. And while those are lovely pastimes, I have a different view on it that I want to share with you here. So this is an exercise I do with my clients. I want you to imagine that you have a bar on your arm, kind of like on your phone, that indicates your battery level. Okay, so imagine this bar goes from red up through orange into yellow, all the way up to green. And this is indicating how much energy you have available to you at any given moment. And that could be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, on any level. It could be an amalgamation of all of it. However you want to look at it, whatever way lands for you, this energy bar measures where you're at. So when we're in the green, that's when we feel the most alive, the most engaged with life. That's when we're living our best life, being our best self. We're fulfilled. The world looks bright. There's possibilities. That's green. Now, red is when we feel the worst, right? Red is when we have nothing left in the tank. So even just talking about it, I feel my energy leave me. So when we're in the red zone, simple tasks become really challenging. Like it feels impossible to even like get up and have a shower, right? So green is your most alive and energized. Red is like completely depleted. And then yellow, orange, like that's, somewhere in the middle. Now, when we are in the red zone, it can be a lot more challenging to get back up to the green zone. And here's why. Not only is this measuring your energy at any given point, but it's also an indicator of what your mindset is. And depending on what your mindset is, that's going to influence your thinking. That's going to influence the nature of your thoughts. So red zone thoughts are going to be very hopeless, despairing, what's the point, apathetic, why bother, why me, I'm worthless, there's guilt and shame and despair down here. And that influences our thinking negatively, right? Whereas the opposite up here in the green, there's possibility. You feel like you could do anything. There's no self-doubt there. There's only potential and encouragement and joy and belief and conviction and all of these good things. Belief in the self, right? So when we're up there, we have a very positive view of ourselves. And when we're down here in the red, we have a negative view on ourselves and life, right? Positive view of yourself and life, negative view of yourself and life. So when we're down here, it's really hard to get up there because there's nothing to motivate you. There's no fuel in the tank, like I said. It's just bleh. So we'll get to how to deal with that. But first, I want to offer the idea that it's so important to check in with ourselves so that we can recognize when we're on the downswing, right? Before we get to the red zone. If we can catch ourselves in the yellow, even the orange, it becomes, it's a lot easier to get ourselves back up to the green from yellow and orange than it is from red. So that is why I'm offering this idea to you that it's so important to pause, check in, see how full the tanks are, and have some ways that you can refill them. Now, imagine for a moment that everybody had this energy bar. You could look at anybody at any given point and see where they're at, whether they're in the green, the yellow, the orange, the red. How would that impact the way you view them in that moment? Better yet, how would that impact the way you view yourself when you look down at your energy bar? Because here's the thing, our energy level impacts us more than just physically. It impacts us mentally, it impacts us emotionally as well. So a circumstance that might roll off your back when you're in the green zone could really send you into a tailspin if you're in the red. So when we see people out there reacting in a way that seems disproportionate to the circumstance, that's because their energy bar is low. They're in the red. They need a nap. They need a sandwich. They need to practice some self-care. And the same goes for us, right? So when we catch ourselves feeling low and reacting in some way to a situation that we're judging ourselves for, what would it be like to set that judgment aside and instead get curious about where our energy level's at? So I'm going to throw this over to you. Check in. Check in with yourself right now. Where's your energy at? What color would you assign to yourself right now in this moment? And let me know in the comments below. Just give me a color. Green, orange, yellow, red, where are you at? Now there are many things that cause our energy bar to drop. So aside from the obvious physical drains like lack of sleep, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, there's also mental and emotional drains as well. So these are things like sadness, frustration, stress, uncertainty, anxiety. All of these drain our energy. Now, this pandemic has created a huge mental and emotional and even physical strain on all of us. Over the last few months, there's been so much uncertainty and stress in the air. And add to that what's going on in the world socially with this racial injustice movement. Like, there's a lot of pain in the air. There's a lot of discomfort. There's a lot of dark, heavy feelings in the air. And whether or not we're conscious of it, it still has an impact on us and it still causes a drainage. The more conscious and aware and tuned into it you are, the faster that drain's gonna happen. So it's so important for us to stay really, really in tune with our energy level. Constantly checking in, constantly monitoring where we're at so that we can make adjustments, so that we can practice the self-care that we need to do to bring that up. Is where self-care comes in, because self-care is how we recharge our battery and bring ourselves back up to the green zone. Now, self-care looks different for everyone. It could be going for a walk in nature, listening to music to quiet your mind, exercise, meditation, reading a book, getting together with friends, maybe it is having a bubble bath. It's really important that you get clear on what works for you. How do you recharge your battery? So that's why we're checking in, because it's so important to recognize when that's starting to dip so that you can prioritize one of the above practices that works for you, that helps you recharge. What each color feels like, right? What does green feel like? How do you know when you're starting to dip to yellow? What shifts for you? What does red feel like? What is the physical experience at each level? What about the mental experience? What self-talk lives in the green, yellow, red zone? Make a list of the ways that you can recharge yourself and have them range from low investment to high investment. So you have some options depending on how much time and energy you have available to you in that moment. If this year's taught us anything, it's that it is more important than ever to be aware of our energy level and how that impacts our mental and emotional state. When we practice self-care and keep ourselves charged, that has a really positive effect on our mental state, on our mindset, which is going to leave us feeling more well, right? Where it feels better to be in a positive mindset. And this is going to have a positive impact on the relationships in our life, on the outcomes in our life. It's just going to have a ripple effect on the world around you. And we all need that. So it's almost like a personal responsibility you have to yourself and to those around you to take care of yourself, to keep yourself charged in the green zone as much as possible. It's that idea of you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on someone else. So I hope this was valuable for you, and I'd love to hear what you have to say on the matter, so I'll meet you in the comments. And if you'd like more clarity on what area of your life needs an energy boost, then I can help you with that. We can either work together directly, or you can start with a free guide that I created that's going to help you identify what area of your life needs your attention first, what area of your life is in the red zone, and provide you with some action steps to help you boost that up and get yourself living in the green zone. And you can download your own free copy of that in the link that I've provided in the video description below. And if you'd like to connect with me directly, you can reach me through my website at mischaelarichter.com. Or you can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. I've got the tag right above me here on the screen. So reach out, I'd love to connect with you, and we can start with a complimentary consultation to see how I can be of service to you. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are, all we need is a screen or a phone and we can make it happen. Check out these videos next for more info on how to live your life with courage and confidence and get yourself living in the green zone. And if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified when I post a new video each week.